this, as will their seed for the next tournament come Spring Championships.
Yeah, they've got a guaranteed top 5 finish, and they're not done yet. Jetbean able to pick up one of the spawn weapons, Cutie picks up the other.
Now we are, of course, coming in with another Barraza and Tesca pick from Clem and Jetbean. Meanwhile, on the other side, Cutie coming in with the amazing Rayman that we saw previously, and Walshy coming in with a fantastic Val.
Yeah, so far nobody's really been changing up their character picks, not even like mid-set or anything like that. It's been pretty clear-cut. These teams have their specific combinations, as Jetbean utilizing that side stick, this time to throw back to his teammate Clem because he knew there wasn't enough damage for that potential KO.
I am a little bit surprised that he went for that, because we have seen that signature KO in orange on the side when you actually use the active input to throw them towards the blast zone rather than your teammate. Great KO from the middle of the stage, picking that one up. That one definitely had enough damage.
Yeah, again, recognizing which direction is the best way to go. That one threw back. He could have gone forward, but it would have bounced off the stage. Walshy, only one holding down that first stock.
Clem was able to grab a weapon very quickly. It spawned on that soft platform as Clem was spawning back into the game. Complete split up as Walshy is zoned out to the left side. The blue team is actually going to split up as well and take one-on-one, do the man defense.
Yeah, Clem wanted that edge guard. He tried to do the downlight, likely would have led towards that recovery, but just didn't find the footing for it. Couldn't get that KO onto Walshy, but they eventually cleaned it up. And so far, pretty even start to game number 1.
Nice pickup there from Walshy, just to add a little bit of insult to injury by picking up the gauntlet neutral light after the nair from his teammate.
Ooh, the crossbody as Clem gets launched. There was a recovery from one and then a side air from the other to launch him down when he was going up.
Sidelight nair from Clem. Walshy actually wakes up out of that. That's going to be a KO. Clem is going to fall. That side air almost clipped Jetbean. Still had enough iframes to get through it. That would have definitely sent Jetbean into the offstage, into the edge guard, into a disadvantaged state. Oh, that's big. I can't believe it, KO.
They were so high, but it was not enough. And now Jetbean joining Clem in those final stocks. Cutie trying to get that punish onto Clem. Side sig, gonna go just throw forward, and it will KO. This time,
there you go. Jetbean grabbing the full team wipe, the unofficial double KO. Side sig to the right, side sig to the left.
Yo, but Clem eats a double recovery from Cutie, and it's all left to Jetbean in the 1v2. And there's a lot of health left on this red team.
You're seeing Jetbean. He's looking for everything off the top like we talked about with Sandstorm earlier. Throwing the recoveries into the neutral air.
Oh, nice turnaround there from Jetbean, but he hasn't touched a wall in a hot minute. Still sweat beating. Touches down.
Now, I love that he actually used the forward version of the side air to actually move him with his opponent to sort of get through Walshy without having to burn a dodge or anything like that. So his movement was the way to avoid, but Cutie with the gauntlet KO off the top. They're going to take that one.
And that was a little bit of a misstep from Jetbean there, because I think he dodged down and then jumped back up into Cutie's sidelight. We're going to see that in a hot minute.
There's the D-light. Into the side light. He dodges down, and yep, you're exactly right. He jumps back up into that GC side light the other direction.
Yeah, he tried to turn that around. I think that was like the startup of a recovery, and it just got beaten out by Cutie. And just an unfortunate finish on the side of Jetbean and Clem, but game 1 goes the way of Walshy and Cutie.
Let's look at that graph here. Nothing huge. No major analyses that I'm seeing off the top of my head. Pretty standard game, except for Clem just kind of got knocked out first.
I think one thing that stands out to me is like the angle of the slopes of the triangles. They're much flatter on the side of Cutie and Walshy, whereas on the side of Clem and Jetbean, like they're a lot sharper. They go up a little bit faster, so that just means like the damage build is just a little bit faster.
You can also see the peaks on Clem's graph are actually trending downward. That first stock, he took the most damage. It's gonna go right here, and yep. So you see the highest peak is on the first stock. then it went down just a little bit, and then it went down yet again. So the amount of damage that it took to knock out Clem was less and less and less as the game went on. So it either shows that Clem was putting himself in a bad spot where he was very punishable, especially leading to KOs, or that was just really good efficiency coming out from the other team of Walshy and Cutie.
Honestly, a lot of it, I feel like, is Cutie he's just in a lot of people's heads right now. He's been getting some great reads, even just a second ago. Unarmed, gravity cancel down like ground pound, read the approach from Clem, and just getting that extra damage on those follow-ups.
The gauntlets from Cutie have been really fantastic so far. If I'm looking at Walshy's numbers, 338 on the gauntlets as well, which is solid. 82 on the sword, but he actually put 100 damage out unarmed. So triple digits on the unarmed, showing that even if he's without a weapon, it's not necessarily quote-unquote weapon disadvantage.
Yo, where did Walshy's first stock go? Cutie!
Uh-oh.
With the edge guard, trying to save each other. Cutie can't cut off the pass, and that means blue team still holding on. Walshy keeping the pressure going. Jetbeam's going to fall top of the map. Clem gets back safely.
That was really good that Walshy actually came in and started handling the situation, because Cutie was throwing out a lot of moves, throwing out a lot of side airs when they weren't in the right spot, throwing a lot of ground pounds when they weren't in the right spot, recoveries when they weren't in the right spot. Then Walshy came in and really sort of cleaned everything up, putting everything out exactly where it needed to go. So that was really a two-man edge guard that needed to happen. All of a sudden, though, taking off the top is a Boots specialty. Jetbeam showing that off.
He was staying high in the sky. I think it was his gauntlets, though, that got 2 recoveries to finish off that stock. But Cutie is back at it with the axe, hits the recovery, and then ground pounds his teammate.
Oh, that's a burn dodge from Clem. Went the gravity cancel sidelight to sort of put out a threat right over that corner.
Oh, the side sig hits just high enough from Clem. Stock count will be evened up.
That's those big swings of that axe side signature. The frame data, I'm going to be real with everybody at home. You probably know it's not great. That's why you don't see it used very often whatsoever. You're not seeing it from Cutie. You don't really see it very often from Cody Travis, the Barraza specialist, either. But that second swing can be a little bit devious. The recovery is devious as well. Taking that KO off the top, putting Clem on to final stocks. Jetbeam already there, Walshy already there, but Cutie in a fantastic spot. The survivability second to none in this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's no ceiling high enough to survive against Cutie. He's basically that elevator from Willy Wonka that just like has rockets and it just goes through the glass ceiling and keeps getting higher.
Okay.
And then he takes stocks.
And then he actually, like, he owns the factory,
yeah.
and all of a sudden he's set for the rest of his life off of that.
Yeah, and his grandpa can actually walk.
Let's see what they have for us here.
Ooh,
oh,
it goes
again,
high.
Those neutral lights, that has been a problem for so many different teams this weekend. Taz and I were talking about that yesterday as well. Those neutral lights that send just a little bit upward, some of those side signatures are not going to make the actual connection that they need. The game is over. They made it look easy, but you really need to be paying attention when you hit like that gauntlet neutral light or that axe neutral light. That was really the one that me and Tazza were talking about. Don't go for the Bryn side signature. Don't go for the Dulcim side signature. Maybe you go for, at least in the Bryn case, definitely the neutral sig.
Yeah, the neutral sig, because of that now additional vertical force direction, it now kind of goes a little bit upward, which means it's not going to be just that straight pass to the teammate, and that's something that, like you said, the players maybe are not as familiar with. They're not as comfortable with. But we're going into game number 3. They're trying to leave high ceiling maps on the board because Cutie keeps getting these vertical knockouts. The axe recoveries off the top, the gauntlet recoveries off of the top.
So looking at the damage splits between these legends, specifically on Walshy again, mostly dominated by the gauntlets. Last time it was 338, this time it was 357. Last time it was like 80 damage on the sword, this time it's 79. So definitely, I mean, nobody is surprised that most of the damage is being done by gauntlets, and we're seeing so many gauntlets on the screen, the way North American players are talking about gauntlets in the meta as well.
You know, there's definitely a huge North American bias towards the gauntlets. We're seeing a lot of it, and it's been pretty effective. We've seen a lot of people lean pretty much purely into the gauntlets for their games.
I feel like North America as a region is of course the trailblazer, given that we win most, if not almost all of the tournaments out there,
yeah, we do.
Of course including LANs. But I think North Americans are also the most willing to be sheep.
Ooh.
And the pros say something is really, really good, and then you're going to listen to them. Of course, why wouldn't you? And then everybody is just going to jump on board as well.
Yo, but Cutie jumping onto Jetbean now. Lots of damage has been done. It's Clem and Walshy, the first two to fall in this game. And right now, it's Clem and Jetbean who need to get a game to stay in this.
Signature punished by Walshy's side air. Jetbean taking a lot of damage, ends up falling. Cutie is going to pick up that KO there. Again, Cutie's survivability is amazing. It's always the first stock that Cutie is the last one to lose compared to everybody else. You look at everybody else, Clem is in the orange, Walshy's on final stock, Jetbean actually doing some solid survivability this game as well. This might be a tough one for the red team to come back from, given that Walshy got bullied.
I'm going to say something that is maybe controversial.
Speak to that.
But I want Jetbean to throw out more SIGs. He's getting so many early stocks, those gauntlet side SIGs taken in orange, those boot side SIG that took down Walshy so quickly. Just throw out those big SIGs and take stocks.
I mean, that's what we saw earlier in the set. We saw like the side SIG to the right, then went to the left side of the stage, picked the side SIG to the left there. I think you're exactly right. I don't think anyone's going to say, no, Duke, you're wrong.
No,
Tesca SIGs are bad.
People in chat are like, oh, he's advocating for spamming right now. But
yeah, that's true. We don't listen to chat, though.
Get those SIGs, get those KOs, and keep your team alive, because right now, Jetbean and Clem are on that point.
They started off the second half of the game in a much better spot than they find themselves now. Even though they have a stock lead compared to Cutie and Walshy, they also have a very damaged Clem, who might get knocked out here. Both members are ready to punish. Simple ground pound from Cutie. Clem is out of the game. Jetbean into the 1v2. Needs the victory here if they have any hope of staying in this one and not going down 0-3.
Yeah, good coverage from Cutie there, just kind of babysitting. And the second Clem went to the wall, was like, well, you can't dodge when you're touching the wall, so I'm going to hit you with this ground pound. And now Jetbean trying to weave through, throws out the side SIG, throws out
another one.
Yo, if it hits, he's a hero.
He's listening. He's adapting. A little bit of team damage coming out. Nowhere near to be able to punish that one, but Cutie does get the jump side air.
Yeah.
And that has got to be it. And yes, it is. Walshy and Cutie take the 3-0, move on into a guaranteed top 3 placement.
This is continually upsets. Walshy and Cutie, of course, playing incredibly well. They're coming in here as the 3rd seed, but by and large, not in a lot of people's predictions to make it into the final 3, alongside a team like Cody Travis and Faison. But you know what? They're here to play, and they're playing incredibly well.
We have a cool dynamic going into this winners finals. We have kind of one of the older teams going on that achieved the greatest highs in Brawlhalla, and that's Cody Travis and Faison, against a sort of newer team. Even though they've played tournaments together in the past, if you look at like what they've done and the successes they've had, they're quote unquote a new team in this top 3, in this top 8, in these consistent high level placements. So it's old versus new, old and busted versus new hotness, but the old and busted ain't looking so busted, or maybe it's busted in the sense of the way people are talking about battle boots being busted.
It might be a little refurbished, you know, put on a new coat and looking good, because again, they handled Sandstorm and Booming, which is again like the team that a lot of people were looking at.